Hello everyone, welcome to Lock Funday. I am Advocate Parul Singh. Hope you are bravely dealing with this lockdown which was done due to outbreak of pandemic coronavirus and staying at your home. क्योंकि जान है तो जहान है. But are we really safe at our homes? As we know, viral diseases are among the world's leading causes of morbidity and mortality. The 2019 outbreak of COVID 19 in Wuhan, China has in no time spread globally. Our nation is facing strange time battling the mushrooming pandemic. The government has imposed a nationwide lockdown and mandated strict observance of social distancing. However, one of the backlashing impacts of the stay at home orders is the surge in violence against women and girls, specifically the looming cases of domestic violence. India, however, is not the only country. Violence against women and girls is a universal issue with great impact on victims' survivors, their families, and communities. According to the World Health Organization, one in every three women across the globe experience physical or sexual violence in their lifetime. So, here, beginning with our today's topic, that is domestic violence amidst the outbreak of coronavirus. As we all are aware that in this time of crisis, domestic violence cases have seen a blunt upheaval across the globe. Such an increase is not a new trend. Instead, women tend to be at greater risk during such health disasters and pandemic like the Ebola outbreak or the Great Depression. The reason for this heightened violent and compulsive controlling behaviors is the economic hardship that people face in general, along with cramped and confined living conditions. Domestic violence has become both a public health and human rights crisis. According to the UN Women Report, Lebanon, Malaysia, and China have witnessed a twofold and a threefold increase in respectively. Alongside increased reports, greater complexity of violence is observed. Australia has shockingly revealed a 40% rise with 70% increased severity. Argentina, France, Cyprus, and Singapore too have registered a significant rise in helpline requests. This, however, present one side of the coin, wherein the upsurge is visible. There exists yet another constantly looming fear on the other side. It pertains to poverty ridden countries or where the outbreak has reached its zenith. In these places, the requests have seen a sharp dip. Italy, for example, has reported 55% fewer calls. North France saw similar decline. Now, coming upon situation in India, India has overlooked the problem of domestic violence since time immemorial, with the state condoning it as a private matter. According to reports from 2001 to 2012, 45 to 50% of all crimes categorized as being specifically against women was cruelty by husband or his relative. Moreover, according to the Crime in India report 2018, a woman is subjected to domestic violence every 4.4 minutes. Domestic violence, though, is not committed against women only, but it has been the most common constant in women's life. The National Commission for Women reported that between the beginning of March to the start of April, a total of 310 grievances of domestic violence, along with 885 complaints for other forms of violence against women, were reported. Now, coming upon the steps taken up by the government to prevent domestic violence. Looking at the continuous rise in the cases of domestic violence, the government has taken up certain steps in order to reach out to victims. The National Commission for Women has launched a special WhatsApp helpline number and has started to accept complaints via email. Some states have come up with their own initiatives. For example, UP Police have launched an initiative, Suppress Corona, Not Your Voice, wherein women are encouraged to contact police officer and ask for rescue. The Odisha State Commission for Women has launched its own WhatsApp helpline number. The Women and Child Development Department of the Delhi government has ensured the availability of 24 by 7 helpline and rescue services. Tamil Nadu government has also allowed the movement of appointed protection officers. However, looking at the statistical rising in the cases of domestic violence, clearly the measures taken up are not enough to handle the arising shadow pandemic. As we are talking about domestic violence, we should not forget that we have an act for it. That is Domestic Violence Act 2005, which lays out the minimum threshold to which the government should have adhered while devising strategies. But before that, first and foremost, the inability of the state to address the concern of women even at the time of a pandemic is a violation of the fundamental right to life guaranteed under Article 21 of Indian Constitution. In the Francis Curly Mullen versus the Administrator, Union Territory of Delhi and others, the apex court recognized the right to be free from physical violence. Further, in Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation versus Nawab Khan Gulab Khan's case, it guaranteed right against sexual and emotional abuse. Now, coming to the Act, Section 11 of the Domestic Violence Act mentions obligations on the part of government for regular publicity of issues of domestic violence through the use of media to raise awareness in the society. Moreover, Section 6 of the Domestic Violence Act provides for the establishment of shelter homes in each district by the state government. Here, the government has either remarkably failed or the work has been carried out incognito to which none is aware. Similar is the fate met out to Section 8 and 9 of the Act, which provides for appointing protection officers. The negligence is further evident if we look at the list of essential goods that lack even sanitary napkins, a regular essential. This is in direct contradiction of Section 7, which mandates medical facilities. Furthermore, Section 17 of the Act talks about shared household, which is in line with the Chameli Singh's case. However, as held by Apex Court in the case of S.R. Batra and another versus Srimati Taruna Batra, the definition of shared household under Section 2 subsection S of the Domestic Violence Act is not very happily worded. On the face of it, it meant that a woman, if evicted from the house, has the right to seek monetary compensation and safe shelter along with free legal aid. This is, however, a narrow concept. It is limited to house owned or taken on rent by husband, either solely or jointly by the family of which husband is a part. Clearly, the government, in its attempt to flatten the COVID-19 curve, has overlooked women's physical and mental health. This is further a violation of Sustainable Development Goal. It even violates Article 51, Clause A, Subclause E of the Constitution of India. What is even more tragic is the restricted access to law enforcement. The chairman of National Commission for Women urged women to contact police or reach out to commission, but as per available data, women have always felt uncomfortable reporting to police. Even if they do, such reports are constantly ignored or delayed. Moreover, the number of cases that are reported is not in proportions to the actual incidents happening. This is because of the lack of access to technology in remote and rural areas. According to studies, about 57% of women in India still do not have access to phones. How could they then use helpline services? In the absence of a comprehensive plan from the government, however, several NGOs have come forward, but they themselves face a host of problems. They are unable to move beyond web counseling or telephonic conversations. Due to lack of transport facilities and protective gears, it is difficult to rescue victims. Some shelter homes have even refused to intake women. But that doesn't mean we have completely failed. We got alternatives. We can learn from initiatives by various NGOs in foreign countries. For example, many NGOs have taken up the lead to look at the issues of domestic violence. NGO Swayam has started reaching out to women in distress areas via their contacts with communities. Another NGO, Shakti Shalini, has started a 24 hours helpline. Vishakha, an NGO based in Rajasthan, has planned out a strategy to reach out to migrant women. Stree Mukti Sangathan has been working to cater to working class women. Nazariya Organization for Trans People have started to organize weekly counseling sessions. NGO Women's Entrepreneur for Transformation launched the Red Dot initiative, which requires victims to draw a red dot on their palm to alert people. NGO Breakthrough has come up with several initiatives like Strilink, community radio in UP, along with reviving its Bell Bajao campaign. Coro India has started sharing information regarding help for domestic violence via information stickers placed above food packets. Countries across the globe have brought about innovative plans to prevent gender-based violence alongside pandemic. For instance, the Canadian government has announced an aid pact of $50 million along with deeming domestic violence shelters as essential services. Australia, France, and UK too have separately allocated funds. Countries including France, Spain, and other Caribbean countries have started providing alternative accommodation to those who cannot be adjusted in shelter homes. South Africa has taken up steps to provide medical facilities to women. China has launched its online awareness campaign, namely hashtag anti-domestic violence during epidemic. Spain has designated the code word Mask 19 to signal police about domestic violence. UK government has launched an app called Bright Sky to provide support and information to survivors along with enlisting delivery drivers and postal workers to look for suspected cases of domestic violence. Countries have even set up a virtual justice system by having domestic violence survivor teleconference into a court proceedings. Now, looking at the continuous rise of corona cases across the country, there exists a need for countrywide lockdown. But the need is also for implementation of planned strategies to judiciously integrate arising cases of domestic violence with pandemic. I hope this video was useful, so do share this among your family, friends and relatives as it might help someone in need. You can find list of various NGOs and helpline numbers in description box who are working for helping victims of domestic violence. Do like, comment and subscribe Law Ke Funday for more videos. Thanks for watching. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.